Have you ever found yourself wondering how to navigate the challenges that come with relationships in later life? Whether you're struggling to satisfy your spouse, partner, or even close friends, or maybe your relationship has lost its emotional connection over the years. This evolution comes with its own set of joys and challenges, especially as we face new experiences together. Today, I want to share 5 valuable life lessons that older individuals like us can apply when facing these challenges. These lessons are about keeping connections strong, rediscovering intimacy, and finding peace in relationships during our golden years. Stick around until the end, because these lessons aren't just about improving relationships, they're about finding joy and meaning in the time we share with others. By the end of this video, you'll have tools to strengthen your relationships, no matter what challenges come your way. Before we begin, if this sounds like the kind of content you're interested in, make sure to hit that subscribe button for our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our tips on living fully at every age. Your support truly helps us reach more people looking to make their golden years healthier and happier. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Let's dive into the first lesson. Communication is everything. Over the years, I've come to realize just how essential clear, honest communication is in any relationship. As we age, we might think our partner knows exactly what we're thinking or feeling, but the truth is, that's rarely the case. I've found that assuming leads to misunderstandings, and sometimes, even unnecessary conflict. A few years ago, my wife and I hit a point where we realized that even after decades together, we hadn't been taking enough time to really talk to each other. So, we made a small change. We started setting aside 20 minutes every evening just to chat, no distractions, no TV, just us. It wasn't about solving big problems, it was just about sharing our day, our thoughts, or even simple things like what we felt like for dinner. Those quiet moments brought us closer and reminded us of the importance of truly listening. Clear communication, I've learned, helps prevent misunderstandings and makes both of us feel heard and valued. Remember, it's never too late to start truly listening to one another. The second lesson is about embracing intimacy in new ways. As we age, physical intimacy may change, and for some, it may become a little more challenging, but that doesn't mean it has to fade away. In fact, it's an opportunity to rediscover each other and explore intimacy in ways that are deeply fulfilling and meaningful. I know that when we're younger, we often think about intimacy in a very specific way, typically the kind of passion that comes with youth and vitality. But as we grow older, we begin to understand that intimacy is about more than just the physical act. It's about connection, emotional bonding, and attentiveness. In fact, as we age, the act of intimacy can become more about understanding each other's needs, exploring new forms of affection, and rediscovering what brings both partners joy. For example, oral play, pleasuring your wife in a way that may have been less emphasized earlier in life, can become a powerful way to connect. I remember a conversation I had with an old friend of mine who told me that rediscovering these forms of intimacy, like oral pleasure, brought him and his wife closer than they had been in years. It's about more than just physical satisfaction, it's about showing love, care, and attentiveness to one another's needs and desires. He mentioned how, through these intimate acts, they were able to communicate affection in a new way, and how it deepened their emotional connection. It's a powerful reminder that intimacy doesn't disappear with age, it transforms. Just because your physical capabilities change, doesn't mean your emotional and physical bond has to. Being open to these changes, and communicating about what feels good and what doesn't is key to maintaining closeness. So, whether it's trying something new in the bedroom or simply spending time being affectionate in other ways, don't shy away from exploring what works for both of you. Intimacy, at any age, should still be a source of joy, connection, and love. So, I encourage you, don't let the idea of aging steal the opportunity for a deeper connection. Be open to the changes, talk about them, and embrace them. It might feel a little awkward at first, but in the end, you'll likely find that exploring intimacy in new ways can bring you and your partner closer than ever. It's never too late to rediscover each other. The third lesson is about finding humor in everyday moments. Life, especially as we age, can sometimes feel like it's piling up with challenges, health concerns, financial worries, or simply dealing with the changes that come with time. And in relationships, those challenges can sometimes make things feel heavy. But here's the thing I've learned: laughter really is one of the best ways to keep things light. Take my own experience with something as simple as forgetting where I put my glasses. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I've lost track of my glasses more times than I care to count. I'll search high and low, grow frustrated, and then, just as I'm about to give up, realize they've been sitting on top of my head the whole time. Instead of getting upset, I've learned to laugh it off. I make a joke about it, and more often than not, my wife will join in. The humor in these little moments keeps the atmosphere light, and before long, the frustration disappears. I remember a time when things were feeling a little tense between us, and I could sense that we were both weighed down by everything going on. So, instead of continuing on with the heavy conversation, I started making little jokes, nothing big, just light-hearted observations. It wasn't long before she started chuckling, and the tension eased. The moment of shared laughter allowed us to reset, reconnect, and move forward without feeling so burdened. Humor isn't just about cracking jokes, it's about not taking ourselves too seriously. As we age, we sometimes tend to get bogged down by our own expectations or the weight of the world, but remembering to laugh, even at the little things, helps us keep perspective. It reminds us that life isn't always as serious as we make it out to be. So, if you're still with me and enjoying this, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a 2 in the comments if you found humor to be a key part of maintaining a joyful relationship. And remember, sometimes the best way to navigate life's ups and downs, whether it's a missed appointment, a silly mistake, or something more serious, is with a good laugh and the person you love. It's a simple yet powerful tool to keep your connection strong. The fourth lesson is learning to let go of old resentments. As we grow older, we often carry with us the weight of unresolved issues, whether it's with our partner, family, or friends. Life can be full of misunderstandings, disagreements, and even small slights, but what I've come to realize is that holding on to these feelings of resentment can take a toll, both on our mental health and our relationships. I'll be the first to admit that, like many of us, I used to let small disagreements linger far too long. There were times when my wife and I would have a small argument, and instead of resolving it, I'd stew over it. Maybe I felt hurt, or maybe I was stubborn. But those little unresolved issues would build up, and before I knew it, they'd become bigger than they needed to be. I realized that all that energy spent on harboring anger and resentment wasn't helping either of us, it was draining. Then, a while back, my wife and I decided to make a pact: whenever a disagreement arises, we'd address it right then and there and not let it fester. We agreed that there was no point in holding on to negative emotions, especially when it comes to something as precious as our relationship. One night, after a misunderstanding about something trivial, who was supposed to take the garbage out, I realized I was about to let it slide into a larger argument. But instead of carrying that resentment into the next day, I stopped, took a deep breath, and apologized. My wife did the same, and in that moment, we both let it go. The feeling was freeing, and we were able to move forward without carrying any unnecessary baggage. I've learned that holding on to love is far more rewarding than holding on to anger. Resentment only keeps you tied to the past, and it doesn't allow you to grow or enjoy the present. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting, it means choosing to prioritize peace, happiness, and love over the small things that don't truly matter in the grand scheme of life. And as we get older, time becomes even more precious. We don't want to spend the remaining years we have holding on to bitterness. If you're struggling with any unresolved issues, I encourage you to let them go. Address them, forgive, and free yourself from the weight of past grudges. It opens up space for more joy, more connection, and more love. And as we all know, those things become even more important as the years pass. If you're still watching and enjoying this, let me know by commenting 3 below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on letting go of resentment in your own relationships. Remember, it's never too late to choose peace over anger, especially when it comes to the people you love. Finally, the 5th lesson is prioritizing quality time. As we get older, life doesn't slow down as much as we might expect. Even in retirement, there's always something to do, appointments to keep, errands to run, hobbies to enjoy, or maybe even grandchildren to entertain. It's easy to let those small, meaningful moments slip through the cracks because we get caught up in our routines or busy schedules. But I've learned that it's the everyday moments spent with your partner that truly matter in the long run. When I was younger, I thought that love required big gestures, expensive dinners, surprise trips, or grand declarations of affection. But as I've aged, I've realized that it's not about the occasional extravagance, it's about the small, simple moments you share with your loved one every single day. Those moments can be far more significant than any grand event. For example, one of my favorite parts of the day now is having a cup of coffee with my wife every morning. We sit down at the kitchen table, and even though we've done it 1,000 times, it still feels special. There's no rush. We talk about our plans for the day or just share a quiet moment before the world wakes up. But it's not just the conversations that matter, it's the presence, the shared space, and the connection. Sometimes, we just sit together in silence, side by side, whether it's in the garden or on the porch. We don't need to fill every moment with words. It's the physical closeness, the reassurance that we're still there for each other, that matters most. I remember a time when I let life's demands get in the way. My wife and I were both so busy with our own activities that we'd fall asleep in different rooms without saying much more than goodnight. There was a time when I started feeling like we were losing touch, even though we were still under the same roof. That's when we decided to change things up. We started to prioritize those small, intimate moments, like sitting together and talking at the end of the day or taking a walk around the neighborhood. We found that reconnecting over simple things brought us closer and reminded us of why we had chosen each other all those years ago. It's easy to assume that love will always be there, but as time goes on, we realize how precious those connections truly are. And those connections don't require anything extravagant, just showing up for each other every day, in small ways, makes all the difference. Taking the time to appreciate each other's presence is something that deepens the bond over time. So, whether you're enjoying a quiet morning, taking a stroll, or even just sitting together and sharing a moment of silence, make it a point to prioritize quality time with your partner. Life may change, our bodies may age, but the simple act of being there for each other can carry you through all the ups and downs. It's these moments that will carry the weight of your relationship through the years. If you're still with me and finding this valuable, comment below. Let me know how you prioritize quality time in your own relationships. It's always inspiring to hear how others are strengthening their bonds in their golden years. As we get older, we face new challenges, especially in our relationships. But with age comes wisdom, and the lessons we've learned can be invaluable tools in navigating those challenges. Whether it's the importance of open communication, embracing new forms of intimacy, finding humor in the everyday, letting go of past resentments, or prioritizing quality time, these lessons can help strengthen and deepen the connections we have with our loved ones. Remember, relationships aren't about perfection, they're about connection, patience, and mutual respect. As we grow older, we often have more time to reflect on what really matters, and that's the people we care about. Taking the time to listen, to laugh, and to truly be present for one another can transform the way we experience our relationships in these golden years. So, my fellow elders, let's continue to nurture the relationships that matter most. Life might slow down, but our capacity for love, laughter, and connection only grows stronger if we let it. If you found these lessons helpful or inspiring, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insights on living fully at every age. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.